Well, hello everybody and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday only here on Top Shelf Oldies. Want to welcome you to the January 6, 2018. It's the first show of 2018, and wouldn't you know, it's like the coldest night of the year. I think it's 4 or 5 degrees here in Westchester County. It's been really frigid weather here, and we just got over a snowstorm. We missed work and had to work from home. It was a disaster, but sit back for the next 2 hours. Got some cool tunes. Actually, it's kind of like a mini theme show because I pulled out, there's not many records that talk about the cold or the frigidness or the freezing weather, but I do have some records tonight that do reflect that, so sit back for the next 2 hours. We opened up, though, tonight's Vinyl Treasure Show with saxophonist George James and his orchestra on the RCA label. A song he wrote, it was called something I don't think you want to be in tonight, but it was called 53 Convertible. Imagine driving in a convertible tonight. But that one there from February 1953, George James and his orchestra on RCA, a cool instrumental there, playing the saxophone. 53 Convertible. You do not want to be in a convertible tonight. I don't know what you want to be in. I don't know. An igloo maybe will be warmer, but anyway, enough of my babbling here. Let's start it off. Since we've been experiencing, like I said, these frigid temperatures over the last few weeks, here are a few records to kind of go with. It's appropriate for tonight, and we make our first stop at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This first came out on Joe Auerbach's Petite label, which I could not locate quick enough, so I pulled out a 45 I purchased back in 1973 on the Bim Bam Boom label. It features Charles Jackson on lead, aka Chuck Jackson. He became the lead of the Del Vikings. This one, 1959, originally on Petite. This tune is called Cold Feet.
Standing on the corner is a pretty little girl that I sure would like to meet. I've had plenty of time, but can't make up my mind. I think I got cold feet. I like to snatch her off the corner right in my arms with the love that's so deep. I've had plenty of time, but can't make up my mind. I think I got cold feet. I've been around for a long time, and I've had a million girls. I used to talk that talk and I beat this lie. Never seen them out of this world. I got my mind steady. This girl I got to meet. Oh, I don't think that I'm quite ready. I think I got cold feet. I've been around for a long time, and I've had a million girls. I used to talk that talk and speak this lie. Never seen them all out of this world. I got my mind up steady. This girl I got to meet. Oh, I don't think that I'm quite ready. I think I got cold feet. I think I got cold feet. Yeah, cold feet. My feet are freezing, and I don't want to leave you.
Yeah, we open up tonight's a vocal portion there with the Del Vikings, Chuck Jackson on lead for that one, 1959 release. A song entitled Cold Feet originally came out on the Petite label. I featured it on the Bim Bam Boom 45 I bought back in 1973. Now, Chuck joined the group when it split up in 1957. The underage members left for Mercury, but Crib Johnson, he was of age, so he was bound by their contract to stay with the Phoebe Records. He couldn't leave, and Chuck Jackson joined the group then, and he went on to have very successful solo career. Big hits on the Juan label, I Don't Want to Cry, Any Day Now, etc. And first recording his records that first came out, I think he signed with Clock Records. I think he came out as Charles Jackson originally. Then he became Chuck. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening spinning cold records for tonight. A little bit of a theme show here. We go to Los Angeles, California for this next group. First started recording for Dootsy Williams' Dutone label, but had to leave after accusing label owner Dootsy Williams for not paying them royalties on their big hit from 1954, that being Earth Angel, so they left to sign with Mercury Records. And here's the B-side to their 6th of 7 on the Mercury label, a song written by Jessie Mae Robinson. She also wrote Let's Have a Party for Elvis Presley. Also, you may know it by Wanda Jackson. But this one features Dexter Tisby on lead. I posted this one up on my Facebook wall, August 56th, the Penguins on Mercury, something we've been experiencing here for the last couple of days. The name of the tune is called Ice.
I went to see a little girl the other night. I only saw her twice. I put my arms around her waist and squares her tight. She started melting like a piece of ice. I really didn't mean to make her lose her hair. Her mother raised her knife. But when I tried to leave, my feet were just like lead, and she was melting like a piece of ice. Knew just what I had to do, so I ran home and packed. I was in a hurry, but I told her not to worry, that I would be right back. But when I went to ask her father for a hand, I got a big surprise. I caught her with my arms around another man, and she was melting like a piece of ice. Yeah, blow Sam! I went to see a little girl the other night. I only saw her twice. I put my arms around her waist and squares her tight. She started melting like a piece of ice. I really didn't mean to make her lose her head. Her mother raised her nice. But when I tried to leave, my feet were just like lead, and she was melting like a piece of ice. Knew just what I had to do, so I ran home and back. I was in a hurry, but I told her not to worry, that I would be right back. But when I went to ask her father for a hand, I got a big surprise. I caught her with her arms around another man, and she was melting like a piece of ice. Hey, melting like a piece of ice.
That's definitely a cool tune to feature on a cold night like tonight. Those are the Penguins, August 1956. There's the 6th of 7 releases on the Mercury record label. Dexter Tisby, he's on lead for that one. A song entitled Ice. Lots of ice here on the East Coast and the tri-state area, so the roads are really, that black ice is very slippery there. I slipped on the way home from Newark actually yesterday. You can barely see it, but anyway, I got some other records coming up throughout the evening relating to the cold weather, so we'll continue with that in a little bit. But I got a lot of flip sides from actually the last 2 weeks. The Christmas show, they're not Christmas sides, but there's some good sides on some of those flips, and also from a couple weeks ago. And here's one, and this played the flip side of this one on the Christmas show, and it was a group called the Marshalls. I featured a tune called Mr. Santa's Boogie, which was only available on a 78 until 1962 when Herman Lubinsky re-released it on a 45 on a cool-looking red vinyl, too, like that kitty lead vinyl, a kitty record vinyl, I think they call it. But anyway, on the 78, Santa's Boogie was the intended A-side, but when by the Marshall Brothers, but when they re-released it, they made this side the A side, the ballad side, I guess, because at this time, all the collectors were into this early style music, and this goes out to all the early collectors that like the early sound. It's with Maith Marshall on lead. We go way, way back. This one to December of 1951. We flip over Mr. Santa's Boogie and give a listen to this one. Herman Lubinsky put it out as the Marshalls the second time around. It's on the Savoy label. The tune is called Who'll Be the Who'll WHO''LL Who'll Be the Fool from Now On.
Who'll be the fool from now on? Who'll be the fool when I'm far away? I know that you found someone new. Maybe I'll find one too. Could be I might sing the blues. Still your love was not mine to lose. You just made a blunder that just made me wonder who'll be the fool from now on. Could be I might sing the blues. Still your love was not mine to lose. You just made a blunder that just made me wonder. Tell me who'll be the fool from now on.
Early sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one there going way back. December 1951, the Marshall Brothers, originally on the 78, on the reissue 45 from 1962, the Marshalls, Who'll Be the Fool from Now On. That one there, Herman Lubinsky's Savoy record label. Maith Marshall on lead for that one. John G here for a Saturday evening on this cold, cold night here in New York City. We continue here. This is a stretch for this one to make it a sound for the weather folks out there, but it could be considered a weather song, but it's another flip side, though. Actually played the intended B-side by this Baltimore, Washington, D.C. based group for George Tompkins. Wanted to hear How Can You Treat Me This Way. Played it a couple weeks ago, but this was the intended A-side. It's a cool jump featuring Joe Reed on lead. It's October 1953. They're called the Magic Tones. It's on King Records, and I guess we can consider this going with the theme for tonight. The tune is called Cool, Cool Baby.
She went to the city to make a little kitty. She decided to stay. When she found out how the money came a-rolling her way. Now she's a cool, cool baby from Chattanooga, Tennessee. She's a cool, cool baby from Chattanooga, Tennessee. She's a cool, cool baby that any fool can plainly see. Now she showed everybody how a small town girl made good. Oh, how that girl made good. She showed everybody how a small town girl made good. Oh, how that girl made good. Now she's got a line that's really hard to beat. She met her sugar daddy and she swept him off his feet. Cause she's a cool baby from Chattanooga, Tennessee. She's a cool, cool baby that any fool can plainly see. She owns a big home down on the main avenue. She got the loop and don't know what to do. Now she rides around in a Cadillac, diamonds on her fingers and mink on her back. She's a cool baby from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga, Tennessee. She's a cool, cool baby that any fool can plainly see. Any fool plainly says she's a cool, cool baby. Cool baby. Don't mean maybe. Cool, cool baby. Cool, cool baby. She's a cool, cool baby from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah, that pretty much fits the theme for tonight. Those are the Magic Tones there. Not an easy record to find on original, the Magic Tones. From October 1953, the second of two for them on Sid Nathan's King record label. Cool, Cool Baby is the name of the tune. Johnny trying to keep you warm on this cool, cool night, that is for sure. It is 4 or 5 degrees out here. It's really, I'm worried about my Cadillac battery. Yes, I am. Anyway, let's continue here. Here's another flip side from a couple weeks ago. It's on Bobby and Danny Robinson's Red Robin label. Featured the B-side of their first of 3 for Red Robin. It was a song called She's Got a Grin. But here is the A-side, a killer ballad featuring Charles Sampson on lead. This one from September of 1953. Give a listen to the Velvets. It's the Velvets on Red Robin. And their tune, it's called They Tried.
They tried to make us say goodbye by telling those lies. I'm devoted to you. They tried to make us say so long by saying it's wrong. Why tally those lies? I'm devoted to you.
That's the sound of the Velvets here on the Vinyl Treasures Show. September 1953, that's their first release on the Red Robin record label. Another cool label to collect some expensive 45s on Red Robin. Those are the Velvets. Charles Sampson, he's the lead singer. They Tried, that's the name of the tune. Now, Charles would later record with Carl Hogan as Charles and Carl, also on the Red Robin record label in 1955. As we continue here for a deep freeze here on the East Coast, as it's appropriate for this next record, and this song so very appropriate for today because of the severe cold. This group out of Jersey City, New Jersey, I posted this one up on my Facebook wall. They had two releases on Herman Lubinsky's Savoy label. This is their first. It features James Ricketts on lead. We go to December of 1954. Give a listen to the Roamers. The Roamers on Savoy and their tune called Deep Freeze.
Come on, baby. Get it, baby. Okay, baby, let's go. Well, you know that you have hurt me. You know you hurt me so till my mind is all in stitches, and round I go. You said you didn't want me, now I don't want to live. You're glad when you're receiving, but you never want to give. Be free, pretty mama. Be free, oh baby. Be free, pretty mama. Be free, oh Lord. Be free, pretty mama. Be free. That's all you ever gave to me. All you remember the things I used to do. Don't stand there looking at me as if you never knew. Sometimes I tell myself there that I shouldn't even mind, but I've learned in my travels that love is blind. Be free, pretty mama. Be free, oh baby. Be free, pretty mama. Be free, oh Lord. Be free, pretty mama. Be free. Why should you treat me like you do? Never wrong. Don't leave me going crazy. Don't leave me all alone. Don't ever try to fool me. Don't try to break my heart. I love you too much, darling, for you to ever start. Be free, pretty mama. Be free, sweet baby. Pretty mama, drive me crazy. Pretty mama, be free. Just change your gear, reverse your speed. That's all, child. Later, baby. Honey Buzz.
You heard the singers there. That's what's happening here on the East Coast. Deep Freeze, that's the name of the tune. Those are the Roamers, December 1954. James Ricketts on lead for that one on Herman Lubinsky's Savoy record label out of Newark, New Jersey. And that is their first of two. Now, they also backed up other Savoy recording artists, Wilbert Harrison being one of the Women in Whiskey. They're on backing him up on that. And also Veretta Dillard, Your The Answer to My Prayer. They back up Verda Dillard on that release. Johnny G here, spinning original vinyl 45s on this cold, cold night. I wish it was in the 50s. It's 50s and early 60s as we do it every Saturday. So let's continue here. Let's go to another B-side. This time we go to George Gollner's Rama record label. 2 weeks ago I featured a group called The Bells, played their tune What Can I Tell Her Now with the great Joe Van Loan on lead. Let's flip it over, give a listen to the B-side. It features bass lead Big Bob Cornegay. He's on lead. This one from July 1955. They're called The Bells on Rama. The tune is called Let Me Love You.
Yeah, baby, baby, this is what I'll do. I'll buy you a Cadillac car, take you to the finest bar. We'll go out riding, California's not too far. You let me love you. I'll buy you a diamond ring, mink coats and everything. Spend our vacation way up in Maine. You let me love you. I'm so tired of being alone. I got nobody to call my own. I just sit, drink all night long. Because baby, daddy needs this honey home. Baby, let me love you. Love you, baby. Please let me love you. Love you, baby. I'll give you anything in this wide, wide world. You let me love you. Man at home, baby, and he's treating you wrong. Just look in your direction, you'll find my phone. I'll come love you. I'll work hard every day, bring you all my pay. I'll do anything, baby, anything you say. If you let me love you. I'm so tired of being alone. I got nobody to call my own. I just sit, drink all night long, because baby, daddy needs this honey home. Baby, let me love you. Love you, baby. Please, please, please. Love you, I'll give you anything in this wide, wide world. If you let me love you. Baby, if you let me love you.
July 1955 release there for The Bells. The Bells on George Gollner's Rama record label. Big Bob Cornegay, he's doing lead there, the bass of the group. Let Me Love You is the name of the tune. Great saxophone on that one. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue here, and on my Christmas show, I featured this Cleveland, Ohio group. They were called the Hepsters. The first of two was a song called Rockin' and Rollin' with Santa Claus. Came out on the Ronell label. Ronell Records, of course, out of Chicago, Illinois. But the B-side of the record, I really, really like this side by the group. It features Joe Williams on lead. I posted this one up on my Facebook wall. Give a listen to the Hepsters. It's from November 1955 on Ronell. Their tune is called I Had to Let You Go.
Darling, oh darling, I have to let you go.
November 1955 there for the Hepsters, the first of two on Ron L. Records. Oh, no. The name of the tune is called I Had to Let You Go, and it featured Joe Williams on lead. That's a cool tune for sure. Yes, I do, Warren. I love that tune. I have it on the promo. I think the Ron L's, they are like blue and silver on top, but the promos are black and white, the normal looking pro. I posted it up on my Facebook wall. You can check out the label, worn label, but plays pretty good. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. We continue here on this cold, cold night. I actually was going to play the flip side of this record. It was called It's Cold, but it didn't really fit the cold that I was looking for. But anyway, the group is out of Los Angeles, California, consisted of Joy Hall, Bill and Gene Harris, and Roy Line. Collectively, they were known as the Spotlighters, and this is their debut single that came out on the Imperial label. And for you collectors out there, this record comes on dark purple vinyl. You have to hold it up to the light, and if you can see the light bulb through the vinyl, you know you have this dark purple copy, because that is what my copy is. Anyway, let's give it a spin. It's from February 1955, the Spotlighters. It's on Imperial. The tune is called Bam Jingle Jingle.
She said, tell me, baby, where can you be? Every night till 3. I said, yes, yes. Bam, ding, ding, go, hear the this jingle, jingle, jingle. Bam, jingle, jingle, hear the this jingle, jingle, jingle. I really love my baby, but sometimes I wish I was single, single. Bam, jingle, jingle, hear the this jingle, jingle, jingle. Bam, jingle, jingle, hear the this jingle, jingle, jingle. I really love my baby, but sometimes I wish I was single, single. Because I've had enough. You're just a bit too rough. She said tough, tough. Bam, jingle, jingle, hear the this jingle, jingle, jingle. Bam, jingle, jingle, hear the this jingle, jingle, jingle. I really love my baby, but sometimes I wish I was single, single. I really love my baby, but sometimes I wish I was single, single. I really love my baby, but sometimes I wish I was single, single.
That's a debut 45 for a group called the Spotlighters. February 1955 release. It's on the Imperial record banner, Bam Jingle Jingle. I Wish I Was Single is the name of the tune, and they would have two more releases on the Aladdin record label. That is the same group there. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here. Let's stay on the Imperial record banner for another themed song relating to today's temperature by this group originally from Tacoma, Washington. Washington, but they relocated to Los Angeles, California. They had 5 releases on the Imperial label. This is their third. It features Bobby Gold. He's on lead, and it's a song he co-wrote from November 1955. They're called The Barons. The Barons on Imperial, and Something You Don't Want to Experience Tonight. The name of the tune, it's called Cold Kisses.
Cold kisses won't do. A kiss as cold as ice. Cold kisses won't bring you into paradise. No, they'll never compete with a kiss that is true. Cold kisses won't do. Beware, I'm warning you. Cold kisses won't work. They'll only cause you pain. When you lose the one you love, then you start crying again. Ooh, you better warm your kiss. Give his heart a shove. Cold kisses won't do. They'll never bring you love. Cold kisses won't do. Kisses cold as ice. Cold kisses won't bring you into paradise. They'll never compete with a kiss that is true. Cold kisses won't do. Beware, I'm warning you. Cold kisses won't work. They'll only cause you pain. When you lose the one you love, then you start crying again. You better warm your kiss. Yes, give his heart a shove. Cold kiss won't do. They'll never bring you love.
That sounds a little bit like the Hearts of Stone, doesn't it? Just a little bit like that record, but those are the Barons. The Barons, November 1955. It's on the Imperial record label as we keep our theme for tonight, a song entitled Cold Kisses. Let's continue here. And on the Christmas show, I featured the Great Cadillacs with their Sound of the Season, their rendition of the tune Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But that was this was the B-side to their 9th release on Jerry Blaine's Josie record label. And let's give it a spin here with Jesse Powell and the orchestra and Earl Carroll. He's on lead. We go to November of 1956, the Great Cadillacs. Cadillacs on Josie with their tune called Shock a Doo.
Shock-a-doo-wop, 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 shoot, shock. Shock-a-doo-wop, shoot, shock-a-doo coming down the street. No clothes, no shoes on the street now. Shock-a-doo was a man alone. Shock-a-doo didn't have no home. Shoot, shock-a-doo-wop, shock-a-doo-wop, hey now baby. Shock-a-doo-wop, shock-a-doo didn't have no loot. Shock-a-doo didn't have no suit. Shock-a-doo had to sleep on nails. Slip on a dime, tell your head to tail. Shoot, shock-a-doo-wop, shock-a-doo-wop, hey now baby. Shock-a-doo-wop, shock-a-doo had a line of jive. Open up all the little girls' eyes. Those people passing by. Shock-a-doo held his head up high. Shoot, shock-a-doo-wop, shock-a-doo-wop, hey now baby. Shock-a-doo-wop, anytime now you're feeling blue. Shock-a-doo can tell you what to do. Face the world with a brave smile. Think of shock-a-doo all the while. Shoot, shock-a-doo-wop, shock-a-doo-wop, hey now baby. Shock-a-doo-wop.
wop, hey now baby, shaka-doo-wop. Anytime now you're feeling blue, shaka-doo can tell you what to do. Face the world with a great big smile, thinking shaka-doo all the while. Shoot shaka-doo-wop, shaka-doo-wop.
Shoot, shop, shaka-doo-wop, ooh, ah. Shaka-doo-wop, ooh, ah. Shaka-doo-wop, ooh, ah. Shaka-doo-wop, ooh, ah. Shaka-doo-wop.
November 1955 there for the Cadillacs, Earl Carroll. And the Cadillacs, Shaka-Doo is the name of the tune written by their manager, Esther Navarro, the manager of the Cadillacs. That one there on Jerry Blaine's Josie Records out of New York City. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, really love this next song by this great group. They are from Baltimore, Maryland. They had 12 overall releases on the Atlantic record label between 1951 and 1957. This is their 11th tune, written by Neil Sedaka, and Howie Greenfield wrote this tune. It features the great Ernie Warren. He's on lead. We go back to July 1956. These are the Cardinals on Atlantic, and their cool tune. It's called The End of the Story.
It's the end of the story, or I find you're no longer mine. You were mine once upon a time, but you found someone new. All the glamour and glory that you found in a new romance left my heart without half a chance to prove my love for you is true. Someday you'll awake and your heart will break, for you're bound to discover his love isn't true, and that is why you can't judge a book by its cover. Lover, now it's all over. There's no use for pretending now. There can't be a happy ending now. Not for me or for you. That's the end of my story, but I still love you.
That's the great sound of the Cardinals there, Ernie Warren. He's on lead. July 1956, tune written by Neil Sedaka. Neil Sedaka and Howie Greenfield. The End of the Story is the name of that one. It's on the Atlantic record label. It's not the end of the story, not till midnight tonight, when it'll be probably 3 degrees by then. So let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Featured the A-side of this rare 45 on my Christmas show. Band leader Sax Carey connected with this group as he wrote both sides of the 45. I played the holiday side, Christmas Letter, a fantastic ballad. The flip side is a cool up-tempo. It's on Bess Berman's Apollo record label. Have to apologize for the grainy vinyl. It actually looks pretty nice, but this is probably pressed on recycled wax, so it has, I don't know, some kind of surface noise with it. It's unfortunate, but all the presses do. But I think the promos play better than the stock copies. It's from December of 1957, Lafettes and Kitty on Apollo Records. The tune is called Can Can Rock and Roll. As North Dakota Bob would say, that definitely is a tail slapper for sure. That's Lafettes and Kitty and a group. December 1957. That's the flip side to Christmas Letter. Can Can Rock and Roll. Bess Berman's Apollo Records out of New York City as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Back to the cold theme for this next one, although, you know, we had a lot of snow here in the tri-state area. Just got bombarded with a major snowstorm here, and I saw this title, and I said, well, this will work for this cool theme that I've been playing this evening. And it's the 4th of 8 on Mercury for this Pittsburgh, PA group. We heard from the new group at the beginning of the show. I played a song called Cold Feet, but the minors of the group, they signed with Mercury Records, and they performed this song on the Patty Page TV show back in 1957. If you were tuned in, this was a song that they sang. It features Norman Wright on lead. We go to November of 1957. Of course, I'm talking about the Dell Vikings. The Dell Vikings here on Mercury, and their tune called Snowbound.
Oh, my darling, made of ice, must the gates to paradise. Be forever close to me, you alone possess the key. Oh, 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 oh. Please, my plea, so blinded by your charm. If you walked into my arms, I will warm your fingertips. I will burn your ruby lips. Please, my please, don't let your heart be snowbound. Give your love to me. Don't let your heart be snowbound. This may be the witching hour. I've come down from your ivory tower. Let me melt your heart of ice and take me back to paradise. Please say my please. Don't let your heart be snowbound. Give your love to me. Don't let your heart be snowbound. Don't let your heart be snowbound.
Keeping with our theme, weather theme, that is Snowbound by the Dell Vikings. Snowbound by the Dell Vikings, November 1957 on the Mercury record label. Norman Wright, he's doing lead. Their orchestra leader, Carl Stevens, and his orchestra backing up the Dell Vikings as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Up next, a group that was discovered by Duke Ellington while he was on a tour in Detroit, Michigan. And this group's debut single came out on the Mercer label, a very rare 45. It sold not too long ago, a white promo on eBay. Went for really stupid money in a very off condition anyway, but the song was picked up by Coral Records. But here is their third. This is their third. There Goes a Pretty Girl. That was the song. That was their first, but here is their third of four on the Coral label. It features Alton Hollowell on lead. This one from November 1957. They're called the Enchanters. The Enchanters on Coral with a tune called Bottle Up and Go. They're out of Detroit, Michigan. They're called the Enchanters. November 1957 release, Alton Hollowell. He's on lead. Those are the Enchanters. They're third of four on choral. Bottle Up and Go is the name of the tune. Now, their final release from 1959, a great record they do, and rare. It's called Spellbound by the Moon. Came out on the Stardust record label. That is a great, great tune. Jai G here for a Saturday evening, spinning my original vinyl 45s. Here's an ultra rare one. Played the A-side of this 45 on Zell Sanders' JNS label a couple of weeks ago. Actually, more than that. It was more like 3 weeks ago. It's by a group called The Climbers, although my copy does not show the group on the label. It, as the first presses omitted the group's name. It just lists the band leader's name, Rex Garvin, but the group is really The Climbers. They had two on JNS. I played the A-side of this. It was called My Darling Dear. Here is the flip side, which I do like better, by the way. It's from January 1957, The Climbers on JNS. The song is called Angels in Heaven Know I Love You.
Angels in heaven
know I love you.
Roses are red, violets are blue.
Please let you show me where she has gone. Oh, I've lost her early in the dawn. Please can't you tell me where she has gone?
She has gone.
Please can't you tell me where she has gone? For I've lost her early in the dawn. Please can't you show me where she has gone? Has gone.
She has
Rare 45s here for a Saturday evening. Actually, that's slightly off center, just a little bit off center, that press, unfortunately. But those are The Climbers. The Climbers from January 1957. Really a rare record there. You can get the reissues easy, $20, but not those, not the original. Angels in Heaven Know I Love You. That's on Zell Sanders' JNS Records out of the Bronx, New York. Jai G here. You don't want to be in the Bronx. You don't want to be anywhere in the five boroughs of New York City on this cold night. You want to be indoors listening to the Vinyl Treasure Show as we continue here. Actually, we are in New York City for this next record. This group had two excellent releases on Juggy Murray's Sue label. Their first did well regionally, a song called Vengeance. They followed it up with this one, equally as good, in my opinion. It features Johnny Garfield on lead. This one from May of 1957. These are the Matadors on Sue, and their cool tune. It's called Be Good to me.
Be good to me, 'cause I love you so tenderly, and I need you desperately. My love, be good to me. Be good to me. Well, be gentle too, 'cause my future depends on you, and my heart is trusting too. My love, be good to me. Darling, if you ever find another love like mine, be strong, be strong. Say you never share our love affair is wrong. Oh, wrong. Well, be true to me, 'cause I love you so endlessly, and I need you desperately. My love, be good to me. Well, be true to me as you want your lover to be, 'cause I love you endlessly. My love, be good to me. My love, be good to me.
That's the second of two for a group called the Matadors. The Matadors, Johnny Garfield on lead. Be Good to Me is the name of the tune, May 1957 release. It's on the Sue record label. Now, when I purchased my copy back sometime in the 80s, I think there was a small quantity found on that press, so they became available at decent prices. When they find a lot of quantity at one time, the price goes down, although not in all circumstances. When the person who finds so many, they don't let out how many they have, then that becomes problematic. John G here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue here. And a few weeks ago, I featured a group known as the Kings and Queens, and their intended A-side of their release on Danny Robinson's Everlast label. It was called Voices of Love. Now, the B-side is an up-tempo side. It features Della Simpson on lead. We go to June of 1957 for the Kings and Queens. It's on Everlast, and it's the B-side. It's called I'm So Lonely.
My
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Kings and the Queens, June 1957. I'm So Lonely is the name of that one. It's on Danny Robinson's Everlast record label. Della Simpson, she is the lead singer. Now, she was the lead of a girl group called the Deltones, and they joined together with Sonny Till's later Oriole group. Together they formed this group called the Kings and Queens. Johnny G here, spinning original vinyl 45s. We are in the year, or move into the year of 1958, and a few weeks ago featured this Bronx, New York group's second record. I've played the follow-up to their hit, I guess their biggest hit, a song called Tell Me Why. It was called Dance Girl Dance. The B-side is a pretty nice ballad co-written by the lead singer. Of course, he is Norman Fox. So here are Norman Fox and the Rob Roys from March of 1958, along with Buddy Lucas and his orchestra. Norman Fox and the Rob Roys on Backbeat with My Dearest One.
My dearest one, I love you, yes I do.
Oh yes I do.
This love I give to you is one that's really true. Oh, tell me you love me, and say you'll be my dearest one. Dearest one, my dearest one. Oh, say that you love me. This love I give will last until eternity. Oh, tell me you love me, and say you'll be my dearest one. Dearest one. This love that I'm giving to you is a love that's really true. I love you, can't you see that you were sent from heaven to me? So I say, please show me that you care. If you must play the game, my darling, play it fair. Oh, tell me you love me, and say you'll be my dearest one.
Great harmonies there by Norman Fox and the Rob Roys. March 1958 on the Backbeat record label out of Houston, Texas. And they were from the Bronx, New York. Norman Fox and the Rob Roys with My Dearest One, the flip side of Dance Girl Dance. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening, spinning a cool original vinyl 45s out of my collection on this cool, cold, frigid day here, or night we'll say, in New York City as we continue here. And here's another flip side from a couple weeks ago. It's on Bob Shad's junior label, which would eventually become the Shad label. Played the B-side of this 45. It was called Baby I Need You So. But here is the A-side from late 1958. They're called The Big Five. The Big Five, it's on Junior Records, and the tune is called Wob, W-O-B, Ding-a-Ling.
Well, I had a little girl living across the track. I used to go to see her every night. Every time I go to steal a little kiss, whoop, doggone, the doorbell ring. Oh, wop, ding-a-ling, ba-da-da-da-da, wop, ding-a-ling, ba-da-da-da-da, wop, ding-a-ling, ba-da-da-da-da, wop. Well, she had boyfriends all over town. I thought I was the only cat all around. Every time I go to turn the
Lights down low, here comes some fella knocking at the front door. Wop-dee-da-dee, ba-da-da-da-da, wop-dee-da-dee, ba-da-da-da-da, wop-dee-da-dee, ba-da-da-da-da, oh. Well, 1 o'clock Willie, 2 o'clock Jimmy, 3 o'clock Henry, 4 o'clock Timmy, 5 o'clock Smitty.
Johnny G gets caught. Those are the Big Five late 1958 release. Wob Ding a Ling is the name of the tune. It's on the Junior label. It's Bob Shad's Junior label. Now, Bob Shad not only managed Shad Records, which this label became, he also was the owner of Time and the Brent record label. As Johnny G is placing the CD recorder on, and there it goes. So those were the Big Five. Yes, Warren, they have a great record. Blue Eyes, I think, is the one on the Shad record label from 1960. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue. And I picked this next song for tonight's theme of frigid cold weather, and they are a girl group out of New Haven, Connecticut, consisting of Tootsie Cannon, Maxine McNeil, Esther Peoples, Josephine Ross, and Ella and Joan Smith, and collectively they were known as the Desires. This is on Al Silver's Herald label, this one from October 58, the Desires on Herald, and their tune called Cold Lonely Heart.
My love, deep and true, was meant just for you, but you left me with a cold and lonely heart.
Boy, the end of that record reminds me of The Heart's Lonely Nights. It sounds very similar, but those are the Desires, October 1958 on Al Silver's Herald record label. Cold Lonely Heart is the name of the tune for this cold, cold night, but it will be cold, but you're not lonely if you're tuned into the Vinyl Treasures Show. Let's continue here. Back to the West Coast we go to Art Roop Specialty record label for this Los Angeles, California group. They were known as the Titans, played their fourth on Specialty, a song called Love is a Wonderful Thing, featured Sam Barnett on lead. He is also doing lead on the flip side, written by the second tenor and baritone of the group, Curtis McNair. This one from April 1958. Let's give a listen to the Titans. It's on Specialty, and the tune is called Arlene.
Yip, 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 yip. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love with Arlene. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love with Arlene. My teenage queen. She is my teenage queen. I'm in love with Arlene. Well, I'm in love with Arlene. Well, all of my life I have dreamed of Arlene, my teenage queen. Now she was the queen at the senior prom. Now oh, what a sight to see my teenage queen, Arlene, Arlene. Now she was meant for me. Oh, oh, I'm in love with Arlene. Well, I'm in love with Arlene. Well, all of my life I have dreamed of Arlene. She is my teenage queen. She is my teenage queen. She is my teenage queen.
That's a nice tune there by the Titans. April 1958 release on the Specialty record banner. Arlene is the name of that one. Sam Barnett on lead. They would have other releases on the Class and Fidelity record labels. Johnny G here, continuing here on the Vinyl Treasures Show. And a couple of weeks ago, I played one of the first records to be published by Berry Gordy Jr.'s publishing company, Joe Bett Music, as done by Wade Jones and the Rayber Voices. The tune was called Insane, but that was the intended B-side of the 45. And let's give a listen to the A-side before I file it back down in the No Humidity basement. This one written by the artist. His name is Wade Jones. This one released January 1959. Wade Jones on Rayber, and the A-side, a song called I Can't Concentrate.
But if you just come back to me,
Got to apologize for the condition of that because that is whipped, that copy. That's Wade Jones, January 1959. That is the intended A-side. Early, I guess we can call it Motown effort there. I Can't Concentrate. It's on the Rayber record label, the Rayber Voices backing them up for that one. And a cool one there by Wade Jones. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. This is the last one out of 1959. And on my Christmas show, I played the B-side of this 45 out of San Jose, California on the Bella label as done by the Martells. The tune was called Rockin' Santa Claus. Let's give a listen to the intended A-side. This is side one, co-written by the lead singer. His name is Euless Mason. So here he is with the Martells, November 59. Euless Mason and the Martells on Bella, and their tune's called Carol Lee.
Say that you will be the one and only girl for me, my Carolee. Oh, my Carolee. Won't you say you'll hear my plea, and that you will pity me, my Carolee. Yes, I want you. Yes, I love you. There's no other one up above you. Yes, I want you to be my own, and I'll never let you go, Carolee. Won't you say you'll hear my plea, and that you will pity me, my Carolee. Yes, I want you. Oh, I love you. There's no other one up above you. Yes, I want you to be my own, and I'll never let you go, Carolee. Won't you say that you will be the one and only girl for me, my Carolee. Ooh, Carolee. Ooh, Carolee. Ooh, Carolee. 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 Carolee.
We'll send that one out to Bopper Boy Warren, although I have 2 requests coming up for Warren very soon. Those are the Martells. Euless Mason on lead for that one. That is the A-side of the 45. November 1959 with the Bella Tones Orchestra providing instrumentation. Carol Lee is the name of the tune on the Bella record label. JohnnyG here for a Saturday evening. We move into the early 60s now, and this is another flip side from my Christmas show. This group out of Brooklyn, New York, they were known as the Episodes, and the side I'm featuring is the intended A-side. I think I played The Christmas Tree, which was the intended B-side on the Christmas show. Let's flip it over, give a listen to the A-side from November of 1960. They're called The Episodes. It's on the 4 Seasons label, and the tune is called Where Is My Love?
Where is my love? Oh, where is my love? I'm so lonely. Can't live without you. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, what did I do to ever make you so blue? I'm so lonely. Oh, without you, I searched every place for a trace of her face, yet I seem to
That's from November 1960. They're called The Episodes. The Episodes, what did I say they were from? They were from Brooklyn, New York. Where Is My Love is the name of the tune. It's on the Four Seasons label. That's you know how I hate styrene vinyl, but that one pressed by that Shelley Products pressing plant over in Long Island, and they pressed all those red birds. You can tell because it's got those big thick X's in the dead wax. That's from Shelley Products. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening, spinning 1950s and early 60s sounds out of my collection. We are in 1960, and the first time I ever heard this next song was on the Johnny Angel show. I don't know if anybody remembers Johnny Angel, but he used to have a late night oldies show. I think it was Sunday nights on WHBI, and after all the other like group harmony shows, he would come on and play oldies, but more early 60s, not a lot of those early 50s, but more of the early 60s sides. But he played this group from Brooklyn, New York. They were called the Melodiers. Now, the A-side was a Christmas song, which I did not play on the Christmas show. It was their version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but I'm playing the B-side of the 45, arranged and produced by Vinny Catalano. It features Bobby Rogers on lead. We go back to October 1960. This is on the studio label. These are the Melodiers with Wishing Is for Fools. Oh no, I messed that up. That record's not next. You see, Johnny G with a cold messes up, but that's the next record. Well, you know what? We're gonna play that record. I'll put that on. I'm not gonna re-say this song. Here we go. Let's play "Wishing Is for Fools."
Wishing, wishing,
Boom, 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 boom.
wishing is for fools like me. Wishing is for fools, lonely, lonely me. Once I met a pretty little girl, she told me she was mine, and I thought I'd found the love last till the end of time. Gone, now she's gone, gone, gone. Wishing is for fools, fools like me. Wishing is for fools, lonely, lonely me. We used to walk together, everyone would stare. I was oh so happy, thinking she didn't care. Gone, now she's gone, gone. Wishing is for fools, fools like me. Wishing is for fools, lonely, lonely me. Once I met a pretty little girl, she told me she was mine, and I thought I'd found the love last till the end of time. Gone, now she's gone, gone. Wishing is for fools, fools like me. Wishing is for fools, fools like me. Wishing is for
October 1960 there for the Melodiers. Melodiers, Bobby Rogers on lead, Wishing Is for Fools. That's on the studio record label. He would have a contest. He would play, I think, like excerpts of songs. You would have to guess what they were, and you would mail it in on a postcard. And I think he would give out, like, for 3 winners, he'd send you 5 45s in the mail. And I got some cool records from him, like the Mad Hatters. It's like a $50 record now. Mad Hatters. I didn't know that it was from 1970. Forget some soul record. I think Dusty Springfield with a picture sleeve in the middle of nowhere was another one, and forget a couple other ones. But I used to mail into the contest. Of course, I had nothing better to do than to listen to his show at 2 a.m. in the morning. But anyway, I think he's passed away. You could talk to Dave DeRave about it, because I think he purchased a bunch of his records when he passed away. When Johnny Angel passed away, Dave DeRave purchased some of Johnny Angel's records, and I know I have one record of his in my collection that Dave DeRave sold me from Johnny Angel. Anyway, I messed up there, but we're going to give a listen to the record that I wanted to play before that one, as it was a flip side from a couple of weeks ago, as we go back to Detroit, Michigan, to Devorah Brown's Fortune label, as I featured the $5 with their tune My Baby-O, which was the intended A-side. We're going to flip it over. It's their last record. This is the B-side here for the final record for the $5. It features Eddie Hurt. He's on lead. This one from 1960, the $5 on Fortune with That's the Way It Goes. That's the last release for the $5. Devorah Brown's Fortune record label. Cool label variation colors on the Fortune label if you collect that label. The $5 with Eddie Hurt on lead, 1960 release. That's the way it goes as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And got a request for Bopper Boy Warren, currently in the Top Shelf Oldies chat. He wanted to give a listen to this group from South Central Los Angeles. Their only release. It features, I could pronounce his name, Ekin Deo Paris on lead. Ekin Deo's his first name. Paris is his last name. He's on lead. This one from November 1961. They're called the Eventuals. The Eventuals because their manager thought they would eventually have a hit. But anyway, they did not. But these are the Eventuals on OK, a request for Bopper Boy Warren. The song is called Just the Things That You Do.
What makes the world go round and round? What makes my love come a tumbling down? What makes the sky so blue? What makes me wanna spend my life with you? It's just you, and the things that you do. What makes a little bitty birdie sing? What makes my heart go ding, ding, ding? What makes the sun shine every day? What makes me love you in a special way? It's just you, and the things that you do. Now, baby, you're the cutest little girl I've ever seen. Oh, yeah. Now, come on, baby. Don't you treat me so mean. What makes the world go round and round? What makes my love come a tumbling down? What makes the sky so blue? What makes me wanna spend my life with you? It's just you, and the things that you do. What makes the moon shine pretty and bright? What makes me want you each and every night? What makes the stars shine up in the sky? What makes me tremble when a few pass by? It's just you, and the things that you do. Yeah, just those things that you do. Just those things that you do. Just those things.
As by request for Bopper Boy Warren, the Eventuals, November 1961. Actually, I think that was the intended A side of the record, but they didn't push that side. They pushed the novelty side, Charlie Chan, the flip side there. OK Records, Just the Things You Do is the name of that one. Ikundeo Paris, he's the lead singer. Now, he was the son of a noted African film actor, Prince Modube, who appeared in the 1930s Buster Crabbe film White Gorilla. So if you saw the movie White Gorilla, the lead singer's father was in that movie. And this song co-written Bobby Bird and Earl Nelson. I think there's another person that wrote this tune. Anyway, those are the Eventuals for Bopper Boy Warren. As we continue here, got another B-side from the Christmas show. I featured a group called the Stompers on George Golner's Gone label with Stompin' Round the Christmas Tree. Here's the flip, which was co-written, arranged, and conducted by Vinny Catalano, who was also instrumental with that record we heard by the Melodiers. He was instrumental with this one by the Stompers on the Gone label, December 61. This is a B-side. It's called Forgive Me.
I was a fool falling out on you, baby. I'm asking you, forgive me. I broke your heart. I'm
I'm going to have to send that one out to my administrative assistant, Charlene Whiteside, listening over in Huntsville, Texas. She likes that tune. Charlene, there probably wasn't a YouTube video of that or a song available for that, so you probably heard it the first time. It's a rare record by the Stompers on George Gollner's Gone record label. December 61, the Stompers there with Forgive Me. And it was funny because George Gollner was in so much debt to the mob that they took all his record labels away, except they left him with one. It was Gone Records. That was because he said, I need just one label to manage, and they left him with Gone Records. So that's why when you see there, you'll see it personally supervised by George Gollner on a lot of those Gone releases. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. We are spinning early 1960s sounds out of my collection. I had kind of like a cold theme for tonight's show because of the frigid temperatures, and this record came to mind, and I picked this other record related tune which dates back really to 1934, written by Ted Koellner and Ruby Bloom, first performed back in 1934 by Glenn Gray and the Casaloma Orchestra, but lots of versions of this through the years. But here's one by a Philadelphia, PA group that you all know. They had a big #2 Billboard hit back in 1961 on Parkway Records. I'm sure you have the 45. It was called the Bristol Stomp, but we're going to flip it over for the B-side to the first press of the Bristol Stomp, and it's featuring Len Barry on lead. We go to July of 1961. These are the Dovels on Parkway with their rendition of the tune Out in the Cold Again.
Out in the cold again. The song that you sang so sweetly, it calls it our love's refrain. It's gone and I'm left completely out in the cold again. I dreamed that our love would linger, but just memories remain. I gaze at your ringless finger, out in the cold again. True, it hurts my pride to step aside for somebody new, but deep inside, my whole life depends on you. Ooh, darling, I wanted your arms around me to shelter me from the rain. Now I'm the way that you found me, out in the cold again. Out in the cold again.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Dovels. July 1961 release, the flip side of the Bristol stop, Len Barry on lead, of course. Out in the Cold Again, their rendition of that one. It's on the Parkway record label. Now, there were others that recorded this, many others. Of course, you know, the Teenagers come to mind, but others like Richard Hayes, Johnny Ray, Ferlin Husky, Sam Fletcher, Dean Martin, K-Star, Sam Cooke, Clark Terry, Etta Jones, the Earls, Brenda Lee, Gene Dushan, George Benson, Dinah Washington, the Cress, just to name a few. There were others. I didn't even know their names. They were like in the 90s. I didn't know who they were. But anyway, that is a sound that's the theme for the show, cold songs. Although this one is not a cold tune. This next up is a cover song originally recorded by the Isley Brothers on the RCA record label back in 1959. Now, the group covering this, they are from Long Island. It was originally came out first on the True Echo label in April of 61. Then MGM picked it up, and it started to get played regionally and did very well in certain markets, and they nationally distributed the record. Then it was re-released again for some reason. I think it was because they put it to a flip side of like a Christmas song, which I have no clue who the artist is, Jimmy and the Islanders. It was Rockin' Santa. But it turned up on this label called UWR, which is United World Records, that I thought when I got this it was just a reissue, but I found out it wasn't. Now, this a rendition of the song, or this press, is much faster. It's a faster version than the MGM or the True Echo press if you have it. But anyway, it features Michael DeVivo on lead. Let's send this one out to Lady Linda, tuned into the Vinyl Treasures show. We'll send this one out from November 1962. These are The Chants. The Chants, I'm featuring it on UWR with the rendition of the Isley Brothers tune, Respectable.
She's so respectable. She's so respectable. Well, tell me, what kind of girl is this? What kind of girl is this? She'd never, ever been kissed. What kind of girl? A rubbly rub dub dub. What kind of girl is this? She's never, ever been in love. What kind of girl? She's never been in the moonlight or watching the stars above. She's so respectable. Well, tell me, what kind of girl is this? What kind of girl is this? She never been out on a date. What kind of girl? Yeah, what kind of girl is this? What kind of girl is this? She never ever come home late. What kind of girl? But I begged her on my knees if she'd go out with me. She's so respectable. Did you love her? No, 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 no. Did you hug her? No, 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 no. Did you squeeze her? No, 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 no. Did you kiss her? No, 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 no. What kind of girl is this? She's never, ever been kissed. What kind of girl is this? Yeah, let me tell you, she's the kind you can't resist. Oh, but I love her, can't you see? Oh, she's the kind of girl for me. She's so respectable. Oh, tell me, what kind of girl is this? What kind of girl is this? She never, ever been kissed. What kind of girl? A rubbly rub dub dub. What kind of girl is this? She never, ever been in love. What kind of girl? She's never been in the moonlight or watching the stars above. She's so respectable. Did you love her? No, 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 no. Did you hug her? No, 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 no. Did you squeeze her? No, 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 no. Did you kiss her? No, 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 no. I love her, can't you see? She's the kind of girl for me. She's so respectable. She's so respectable. She's so respectable. She's got personality. She's so respectable. My baby's so respectable. She's so respectable.
That's a fast version. If you compare the two, it's definitely much faster. Those are the chants that Michael DeVito on lead, November 1962, their version of Respectable on the UWR label. And again, there would be another release again on the 20th Century label under the name Jimmy Soul back in 1963. The flip, though, is a Christmas song, Rockin' Santa by Jimmy and the Islanders. It was weird because I mean, I paid $1 for this 45, but the guy thought it was a reissue. But there are records on this UWR label. So anyway, a rare one too by a white group. It starts with a Demoyles, I think that's the name of it. But it's a rare white group. But I don't know. Anyway, Jaji just spinning 45s out of my collection. Let's continue here. And here's another B-side from a couple of weeks ago. The A-side was a song called Lonely Blue Boy, as done by Will Wendell and the Actones, and it came out on Aki Aleong's Trans-American label. Aki Aleong, very instrumental in the entertainment industry, was also an actor, was also a singer. He's got some pretty cool records that he put out. I have a rare one by him with it's got like no label, though. I'll have to pull it out. It's supposed to be on this Trans-American label, but anyway, this was his label, Trans-American. Let's give a listen to the B-side. It's April 1962, Will Wendell and the Actones, and the tune is called Lover.
I'm gonna love her with all my heart and soul. I'm gonna love her as long as I have soul. I'm giving all my love to you. No one else will do. Like there's a moon above, like there's a star. Here is my heart, full of love. Till the end of time, till eternity. That's how long my love will last. Forever, all of my life, all my life. No one else will do. Whoa, I'm giving all my love to you. No one else will do.
That's a hard 45 to find on the Trans-American label. April 62, Will Wendell and the Actones, Lover is the name of the tune. Let's continue. Here we are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. And on the Christmas show, featured a group called Lonnie and the Crisis. Played their tune Santa Town, USA, Vince Rago's Universal label for that one. I also like the flip side. Now, Slim Rose, owner of Times Square Records, would secure the rights to this both sides of this record, and he re-released it on his Times Square record label. Also, it became available on the Relic label, much cheaper. But this one is the original label, Universal Records. We go back to November of 1961. Lonnie and the Crisis is the name of the group. The name of the tune is called Bells in the Chapel.
Da
Echo Lonnie and the Crisis there. November 1961 release. Bells in the Chapel is the name of the tune. It's on the Universal record label. Vince Rago, Universal Records, also owned the Ritchie label. Some pretty rare 45s on the Ritchie label. Probably the most popular was that Sinceres record, which, by the way, the first way of that record is pretty hard by the Sinceres, because then Morris Levy got involved with that 45. Johnny G here doing Vinyl Treasure Overtime, and let's continue here. Got another request for a Warren. He wanted to hear a group called the Dutones on Dootsy Williams' Dutone label. Now, this Dutones group was not the same group that recorded Teller of Fortune back in 1955 on the Dutone label. This group was a totally different group. They were called the L.A. Ebbs, and but they had roots with the label because the other group members were with members that's recorded for the Dutone record label. And he said, I don't want to call you the L.A. Ebbs. I want to rename you the Dutones. So he just called the group the Dutones, and he said that you're going to be on my Dutone label, and we're going to put your record out. So Warren requested the B-side of the first of two for this new group of Dutones. This is written by the lead singer. His name is Royal Dillard. Royal Dillard on lead. Going out to Warren, October 62, the Dutones with their tune called The Day You Said Goodbye.
I'll remember the day we met. Ah, there's one day I will never forget. Ah, the day you said goodbye. All day long I sat and cried with a tear falling from my
Send that one out to Warren. That's a great request there by the Dutones. October 1962. They're really the L.A. Ebbs, and that's Royal Dillard on lead. The Day You Said Goodbye on the Dutone record label. They do another cool one called Down the Road. I really like by this Dutones group. Johnny G here doing Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Actually, I do have some more of those cold records to play on this cold evening here in New York City. But let's continue here. And this next group, they're out of New Orleans, Louisiana, began singing gospel gospel music. They were known as the arpeggios when they were recording gospel, but then in 1959 they became the Arrows and switched to R&B music with a release on the Aladdin label. Then in 62 they recorded as the Convincers, a 45 on the Movin' label, a rare record that they do on Movin'. And then again in 62 they switched back and called themselves the Arpeggios again. And here is their release on the Aries label. This is the intended A-side, which features Mel Alexander on lead. We go to December of 1962, the Arpeggios on Aries, and their tune called Mary. Send that one out to my Aunt Mary, who got me into all these records and all this collecting way back when. She used to play her 45s for me. But those are the Arpeggios there, December 1962. Mel Alexander on lead. It's on the Aries label, a rare 45 there, actually for the flip side, really. The Arpeggios with their tune called Mary. Johnny G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime as we continue here. And here's another flip from a few weeks ago. Featured the group called the Pretenders out of Reading, Pennsylvania on the Bethlehem label. The up-tempo side of the song was called, 45 was called Ding Dong Bells, which was the intended B-side. But here is the A-side, written by the lead singer. His name is Ralph Petrobone. He is the lead singer. He wrote the tune. It's from November 62. They're called the Pretenders. It's on Bethlehem. The tune is called The Day You Are Mine. Two more 45s to go before we sign off here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That was I lost my place. The Pretenders there, November 1962. Bethlehem Records, The Day You Were Mine is that one. Bought that one from Louis Silvani. Had small quantity on that 45. I forget when, long time ago, that bought that 45. Johnny G here, going to shut down in two more records. Let's go back to another flip side from the Christmas show. I featured the Four Imperials out of Detroit, Michigan. Their final overall release, a song called Santa's Got a Coupe de Ville. But I like the B-side too. It features Lynn Best on lead. This one from December 62, the Four Imperials on Twirl. Their tune called 7 Lonely Days. As John G gets caught here. Those are the Four Imperials. The Four Imperials from December 1962. That is their final release on the Twirl label out of Detroit. Lynn Best on lead, the Four Imperials, with 7 Lonely Days. Yes, in 7 more days, Johnny G will be back here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. Hope you enjoyed the cool tunes out of my collection. You want to get in touch with me, send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. We're recording this one on the Ustream broadcaster. I'll get it up on my YouTube account shortly. I will do that. You can also go to my website, vinyltreasures.net, and you can stream or download the shows there. And I guess that's going to do it for tonight. And tonight was our theme show, kind of like a theme show that I use with cold weather. It's frigid weather. Must be about 4 degrees out there, 4 or 3 degrees out here right now, and really cold, so stay warm. But we're going to close the show tonight with another theme song relating to how cold this weather has been. And tonight is the coldest day, or coldest night, and I hope it's not an omen to come for the remainder of the winter. And how appropriate to close out with this song by this gal group. Actually, it's a trio of these gals. They are from Hanover, Pennsylvania, consisted of Deborah Swisher, Kay McCool, and the lead singer, Midge Bollinger. And they had 6 releases on the Mercury record label. This is their second. It was written and produced by Johnny Madera and David White. This was number 70 on the Billboard charts, number 14 on KJR in Seattle, Washington. Our closer tonight's from October 1963. The Pixies 3 on Mercury. I have a picture sleeve with that. I showed it to the webcam there. The closer tonight is the Pixies 3 with Cold, Cold Winter. And I thought we weren't going to have a cold, cold winter, and hopefully it's not an omen to come. So we'll just see. But that's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G. Tune in tomorrow evening to my buddy Dave the Raven, his Relics and Rarities show from 9 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies, and all the shows during the week here on Top Shelf. I'll be back next Saturday starting at 10 p.m. for another 50s and early 60s edition of the show. Thank you, Charlene, for all your help. Again, last minute, crazy work week. This month will be crazy at work, but we're still going to do the shows. That's it, folks. So I want everybody to have a safe and happy week. Stay warm tomorrow, and I'll see you here next Saturday right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Just want to say, everybody, so long.